Greetings and salutations. What you're about to hear is audio recorded off the air at WZBB Radio, affectionately known as B-99.9 to its audience. This station serves South Central Virginia. I was privileged to be a part of the 30th anniversary celebration there on March the 15th, 2019. A lot of the old fogies, myself included, went in and hijacked the morning show. We started telling stories. It really was a good time. B-99.9 is a very special radio station. It's independently owned and operated and has been since the day it went on the air. The fellow who hired me was Donnie Brooke. He owned the station along with his partner Glenn Lynch. You'll hear them in this video. And they recently sold the radio station to Gene Allen, who you will also hear. Gene worked with me in the mid-90s when I was at the radio station. So it's very much a family atmosphere. This radio station has a very strong tradition of local community service, and it served as a model to me as I went on with my career after I left in 1997. Later on, I started managing radio stations as a program director and operations manager. And whenever something would come along that I had to figure out how to do, my mind would always wander back, well, how would Donnie Brooke have handled this? What would he have done at B-99.9? And 9 times out of 10, just thinking of that led me in the right direction, and I came up with the right answer. So as you can imagine, this place has a very special place in my heart. And I hope you enjoy listening to this. It certainly was a lot of fun to be there. And I want to say thank you to Gene Allen and the staff and management for letting us all go in there and take over for a day. It was a lot of fun.
That is Sarah Evans, a little bit stronger here with Southern Virginia's country station B-99.9. Good morning. It's Craig Richards and an ever-revolving cast of characters this morning as we celebrate 30 years serving Southern Virginia with country music. Gene Allen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Man.
It's a walk down memory lane here this morning.
Yes, indeed. There are a lot of memories in this station. A lot.
You know, I started working here in 1994. Mm-hmm. And here's the story. I don't know, Donnie, if you know this. So I had been working at an AM station in Bassett, WODY 900. It was all of 500 watts. You could tell who was listening because there was cars parked around the tower, and that and that was about it. And there was this station B-99.9, Today's Hot Country, that had just went on the air. I was in high school at the time. And I said, man, if I could work on the FM. So I called Donnie and said, man, I'd love to do that. And he said, no, thank you. And I said, maybe I should send him a tape. And then he said, no, thank you again after he heard the tape. And then one day you're a teenager in high school, so you sleep late. And my dad came in and he said, hey, Donnie Brooks on the answering machine wants you to call him back. I was like, you're full of, and sure enough, he was. And I think I did Sunday nights. From 6 to midnight was the first shift, and
obviously we didn't have anybody to do that.
I had to be in last resort, and so here we are. What was that? 94 to now, 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Can I jump in here and tell you my story?
Sure.
Donnie hired me, but they had a fellow here named Bobby Dial. He's gone. I love Bobby to death. Bobby got sick. He had a heart attack. He was in the hospital. And Donnie needed somebody who could come in and do the morning show on the old AM WNLB. And I was up here. A friend of mine bought a radio station up here, and it all went, and I needed a job real bad. So he hired me, and I was horrible because I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I was honestly...
I never hired anybody that was horrible.
No, I was horrible. I was terrible. And then what happened is for some reason or other, I ended up doing an overnight on the FM. And I that was easier for me because I was used to it. Whereas like the AM was like reading obituaries on the air. I mean, that's not a joke. It was just terrible. So I was like, I can do this, And then I guess Glenn heard it or somebody, and somebody said something. Well, anyway, I finally ended up over here on the FM. But it was that was the craziest experience because that's when I found out that I was not cut out to do morning radio at all. And only did it one more time in my entire career, and that sucked too. So thank you, Don. But no, I mean, I can't believe they kept me around because I was that bad when I first showed up. I was late all the time. I mean,
so that would have been 94 because you started in 94 in March.
Yeah.
And I came 94. On in July of 94.
Yep.
And you guys had put the station on in 89.
Right. March of 89.
March of 89.
Yeah. But actually, this format that we now play, it has come a long way, but it was really on...
They play.
That they play. Actually started on WNLB, and we played that for 12 years before we got the FM, and on the FM, we decided we're going to leave the country on the AM and put the FM and make it adult contemporary, which at the time was like Billy Joel and Rod Stewart and stuff like that.
Did you make any money with adult contemporary?
No, we didn't. We finally decided. That this area was country, and so we switched the WNLB's format to the country and did "Don't Rock the Jukebox." Well, that was after we didn't succeed with it as adult contemporary.
It was more of a business move, really, because when the ratings came out, the old WNLB AM was beating the FM in the ratings. So we switched formats.
And we said anytime an AM radio can beat an FM, there's something wrong. So we switched it, and the rest is history.
Well, I know when you guys switched it, I was in high school, Bassett High School, and the billboards started going up. And at that time, country music was the hottest thing on the planet. So. It is. And high school kids, if you were in kindergarten, you were probably listening to country music, and it was the thing. And we were just excited we had another signal to listen to because you had your Winston-Salem and your Roanoke stations, and you had one here that could compete with those guys. Yeah. And that's the tradition. And it's been that way ever since, in my mind anyway. I may be a little biased.
It was riding the crest of a wave. Yeah. Honestly, it was unbelievable. And we had the best audience then and probably still do.
Yeah.
It was just amazing.
The way Donnie Brooke and I met, I was working at another station, WYTI-AM, and get a call from this guy here, and he says, I'm getting ready to buy WNLB.
And everybody laughed about that.
And I thought, okay. And Donnie and I met, and I'll tell you where we met. We met at the old Jerry's Steakhouse on 220 North. And we talked there, and Donnie said, well, go to WNLB and look around. So I go in over there, and I'm not going to go through all how bad it was. But you take my word for it, it was absolutely the worst situation that you could ever imagine. The town had come over and said, you got to plant grass here. Anyway, we get that, and we spent every dime that we ever made for a long time trying to find an FM frequency, and then finally, it worked. And I'll say something about this guy right here. I worked with Donnie since 77?
77, September in 1977.
Yeah. And I don't think in all those years we may have had a couple of little arguments, but nothing. Donnie Brooke's been one of the most honest, hardworking, radio-loving people that I've ever known.
Thanks.
And it's just, it was a good relationship. And now we pass it on to the other guy here who seems like our son or something. Well, and I want to do one other quick thing. Bob Dial. Bless his heart.
Yes, sir.
Bob, he worked at a lot of big-time radio stations in Florida and all over the place. And one morning, he was doing overnights, and I would get mad at him just about every morning listening coming in because he would start saying goodbye, and it would take him 15 minutes.
Yep.
Sort of like this.
Yeah, sort of like this. Well, so I'm leaving home, and I'm living 30 miles from the station. And I'm driving, and Bob is saying goodbye, and I'm driving, and Bob is saying goodbye, yep. And I'm driving, and Bob's saying goodbye. And I get to the station 28 minutes later, and Bob is still saying goodbye.
Do you remember how he would sign off?
Oh, yeah. Watch out for all the blue light. Keep your eye on your cork and watch out for all the blue lights.
Yeah, if you drive and watch for the blue lights, and if you're fishing, watch your cork.
Watch your cork. That's it. Absolutely. But when I got to the station, he was still saying goodbye. And I remember standing in the door looking at him. He said, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. 28 minutes to say goodbye.
He adopted me. He was my surrogate grandfather, father the whole time that I lived here. Bobby was just wonderful.
He was.
What a character.
Well, let's play a song because we'll be doing this some more here in a minute. and I know nobody's probably listening by this point, but it's okay.
Phone calls. That's what I want to do.
It'll be okay. We can take some phone calls if anybody's got a story about B-99.9 over the last 30 years. Give us a call.
Maybe that was a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody's probably listening at this point, but it's been one heck of a ride.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's been one heck of a ride.
Absolutely.
This 30 minutes of hot country music ain't over till the fat lady sings. And she's just getting warmed up. The country giant B-99.9 WZBB FM.
Voted by the Southern Virginia Dyslexic Society as the Best BAM Stadio Ration in Vothern, Virginia. B-99.9.
That is Florida Georgia Line's Cruise here with Southern Virginia's country station B-99.9. Good morning. It's 9:31. Man, we are celebrating, I tell you what, celebrating 30 years for country music here at Southern Virginia's country station, B-99.9. I'm Craig Richards. We've got Gene Allen, and we actually do have people that are still tuning in. We've had some phone calls.
Well, I was going to say, if this is not, today it's going to be about reminiscing about the last 30 years. If we only do this once every 30 years, just pack a lunch, get used to it, folks.
We had one lady just called up. She said, I'm really enjoying what you all are doing, but I don't recognize some of the voices, so be sure to tell everybody who's talking. So I was like, yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
So I'm Gene Allen. I do the midday show here from 10 to 2 every day today, and I did afternoons for a while. I've done overnights. I've done about everything here, but that was from 94 to 2004. This guy.
I was here from 94 to 97 and did evenings.
Joe Collins.
And weekends.
Yes.
Yes.
And this guy used to own the place.
That's Donnie Brooke. He used to own the place.
I did. And I did everything.
And you were here 50, what? How many years? 40.
42.
42 years.
Well, no, 41. Because you got it. Before it was 42.
So we're just celebrating today. For the most part, it's just an anniversary day.
It's kind of funny. When I bought WNLB Radio Incorporated with Glenn, he and I bought it. But I came to town from Savannah, Georgia, and I'd been to about 10 radio stations in about 5 years. And but actually, I stayed 10 years in Savannah, but the other part I bounced around. And so bought the station and saw Red Salyer, who used to own WNLB when it was somebody can tell me, Christy could tell me the name of the call letters for WNLB before it was WNLB.
WKWS 1290.
She sang the jingle.
That was Kermit W. Salyer. At any rate, he did say, he said, this guy's not going to be around more than a year or two. That was 42 years ago. So I did stick around, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did too. At least today. We'll see. We'll see how this goes.
What about Joe Collins in the refrigerator?
We were just talking about this off the air.
You want to do it or you want me to do it?
So we had this, the station had not yet moved to Oak Level. We were still on Scuffling Hill and Rocky Mount.
Yep.
And I had a remote to do that day at Schewel Furniture.
Yep.
And I called Joe up and I said, hey, what are you doing today? You want to come help me do this remote? And he said, you got time to take a shower? So when I went by to get him, he's putting on his shirt and his hair's still wet, and we head out to Schewel Furniture.
It's true.
And we get there and we're just thinking of stuff to do. And I said, well, I wonder if the light really stays on in the refrigerator.
Yeah, but no. You said this on the radio, and then you said get in. And it was one of those, one of them big freezers that people put on their back porch. And he hefted me in this thing and shut the lid, and I had a wireless microphone, and I said, the light, it went off. And he wouldn't let me out. What I didn't know was he started a song, and I was sitting there going, okay, we're done now, let me out. And that was just like faded out. It really happened. The one that gets me, we got to say something about, is Liberty Fair Mall. Do you remember that? The police had to escort us out of there. I will keep this as short as I can. We went.
It wasn't
Donnie.
like that. I know what everybody's thinking.
No. Well, see, that's called a teaser in this business. You set them up, then they're going to listen. See. No, what happened was that we there was this remote we were going to do at Liberty Fair Mall in Martinsville, and we went to Donnie. We said we want to do it a little different because what we used to do all the time was just. Call in on the phone and going, hey, we hanging out here, and then somebody'd be in the studio and they'd be on the radio. We said, we want to do the whole show down there. We want to do a show. So we bribed Ron Morris into coming in and sitting at the board for no pay. So he pushed all the buttons here, and we went down there and fed it out there. When we showed up, there was nobody there. We went down there, we set up this sound system. We started blasting Hank Jr.
We were using the Marty. We got the old Marty dusted off for that. I remember.
No, Cellcast. There was a little cell phone feed that we had.
Maybe, okay.
And we had this big system. We had big speakers, and we set up, and we were blasting the place. And at first, all the businesses, we were in the courtyard, and all the businesses were coming out going, your music's too loud. You're disturbing our customers.
I got that a lot when I do.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, all of a sudden, all these people started showing up, and we attracted a crowd. And those same businesses, a little bit later on, came out and said, can you give something away and if you'll mention us? We ended up giving away $10,000 worth of stuff. I remember the biggest thing we gave away a bunch of jewelry, and we gave away a washer and dryer set. None of this was set up. And then it got time for, and we like doing things we're going like, we're hungry. Somebody bring us a hamburger. People show up with hamburgers. It was unbelievable. So anyway, we get done. It's time to go. The place is packed to the rafters, and we have to leave. And now we can't get out because literally there's a sea of people between us and them. We had to go get a security guard, and they took us out. And then we were on a cell phone going down 220, coming back to the studio, telling people, we're not there anymore. Ron called us up. Yeah, we left the building. It was in the 20 years that I worked in radio, and I've worked in a lot of big remotes, I never saw anything like that before or since.
And if you'd like to talk to one of our sales staff, the number is 276-629-7999.
That was just perfect. Good morning. It's about 23 in front of 10 o'clock. Southern Virginia's country station, B-99.9. Here's the man, Mr. George Strait, and this is Run.
Joe Collins. One man doing the work of 10 for the good of thousands.
Today's hot new country hits B-99.9